morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia and Free Range, and I'm here with Sterling Hill. And we're going to be talking about energy work today and different types of energy that seems to manifest with Sterling. And we're going to show you some pictures that she has accumulated over the years. And we'll also eventually have other energy workers on. But I think you'll find this show rather fascinating. And thank you so much for sharing this, Sterling. And perhaps you might want to show us some of the energy beings that have visited you.
Oh yeah, and they visit me anytime I want them to. I know you, of course, you've been there where I've, showed you them on video. A lot of them, I just get sick of taking pictures or taking video. Right now, we're just going to do photos right now, but we will get. I'll do some interesting video footage, hopefully. And I've got some that I can share with you that we can link them in the feed of different video footage too. But right now we'll just do some pictures, so I'll screen share with you guys and kind of show you what kind of shows up around me, guys. It's very interesting.
It is. It's amazing, actually. I'm just fascinated by it. I've seen orbs before too, but I haven't seen any recently.
Now, Gail, you know the story behind this one. This one is one of the interesting ones that manifested around me. If you remember back when Antone and Scalia passed away, one of his family members, a niece of his, was actually doing a little work for me, part-time work for me, and she had called me up one morning and she said, I guess you saw my uncle passed away. And I said, yeah. She decided to go up to the funeral. She drove with a couple of friends from Louisiana to DC. And she stayed a little bit. And actually, the day after the funeral, she did head back home. And when she got home, there was something else interesting she wanted to show me. I don't think that we should be showing those videos though, because there was some not so nice entities coming through on those videos, but I do have video footage of it. But she came to my house to show me those videos. We also spoke about what was going on with her uncle, things I really don't want to share in public. But as we were sitting down, we were at my kitchen table and I had my cell phone in front of me. She had her cell phone in front of her. And then all of a sudden you feel this like weird feeling in the room, which usually happens. And both of the batteries on our cell phones went like totally dead. Our cell phones just went to like 0% battery. And I knew someone was there, and I looked at her and I told her I thought that maybe because we were talking about her uncle that he was here right now. And so I kind of asked her uncle to please not use the energy on any humans or any animals in the house, that I would like the cell phone to try to pinpoint where he is in the room and stuff. And so as I was going around trying to take the photo from my iPhone, of course the battery power all came back up on both of our phones. And anyway, I was going around trying to snapshot the photo, and what will happen sometimes if I'm on an iPhone, an Android, whatever, when I go to hit the photo, like you just go hit the photo button, the snapshot button, and it just clicks immediately. Sometimes when I get these energies, these entities, these other dimensional beings that come in my view and I want to photograph them, it takes a minute. It's like a 10, sometimes 20-second delay once you hit that photo button for it to pop up. And some of the strangest stuff will happen. So of course I was going around the kitchen and living room area and taking snapshots. And then when I got in front of my brown leather recliner, the shutter kind of started freezing like that. And I said, uh-oh, here he is. I said, he's decided to take a seat on my leather recliner. So we took some pictures, and this is what we got. This is what we feel. It was Antonin Scalia a few days after his procession in Washington, D.C. So this is what we got. And we were talking a lot about what happened. And, you know, there were a lot of things that I know I just really can't share publicly for safety reasons. But this is Antonin coming to visit us, Antonin Scalia. Isn't that interesting, Gail?
Yes, it's fascinating. And, you know, one of the other ones that that I think is really fascinating too, are you see a lot of orbs. And I've seen orbs sometimes that look like they're blank, but then I've seen orbs that have faces in them. Do you have any pictures of orbs you'd like to share?
Yes, I would. In different energies, we'll share down the line here. I will say, you know, I get the interesting ones. And actually, if you come around me, you're going to see them with the naked eye eventually. Certain people they like to show off in front of. Yeah. Yeah, they really like to show off in front of certain people. But when you're around me long enough, you are, well, you've been on the phone with me where I'm shooing an orb out the way. Actually, I was doing a Facebook Live a couple of nights ago, and an orb shot out the top of my head. That was probably one of my energies because I was a little not happy about something that happened. But anyway, I had an energy just kind of shoot right out the top of my head. So we'll get to the next one here.
That's amazing, actually. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, people saw it on Facebook Live, so it's pretty interesting. Now, here I also work with energies and healing. Here was one of my little guys that wasn't feeling too well. And I've got a little kennel. Well, it's actually a giant kennel. And when one of my dogs are not feeling well and stuff, and they need to kind of be left alone to heal, because I rescue a lot of fur angels and some of them have problems, I'll put them in their kennel, and then we'll usually sometimes people are with me and they'll watch me as I'm praying or going into deep meditation for healing for the animals. And these huge white lights, they're so huge they actually engulf the room. And as you know, Gail, a lot of people say that they've never seen orbs as huge as the ones that come around me.
Yeah, yours are huge. I mean, I've seen
the whole room, yeah.
a grapefruit, and I've seen them, you know, smaller than that, but I have never seen one as large as the ones that you see.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they take up the whole room, and we'll get to some of those photos too.
It's absolutely fascinating. Now, when you do your energy work, would you explain that again? Now, when you're working with an animal, do you visualize healing somehow, or do you visualize the white light?
I'll go in and I'll ask for all healing, loving, kind energies to come and start healing the cells, the tissue of the animals. And they'll just start just coming out the woodwork and doing their thing. So it's very interesting. They'll also tell me as well what I need to give the animals. As you know, we know this is one of my guys, Cujo, when we didn't know what was going on with him a couple of years ago. And he had, the vet, of course, gave him an 8-day to 2-year extermination date for something called meningococcal granuloma encephalopathy. And about 6 months, he passed the 2-year expiration date in November. About 6 to 8 months ago, I started learning new energy techniques, and I got the word fenugreek that came, and sure enough, fenugreek has done some amazing things for Cujo. And he's past his 2-year expiration date, and he's not miserable. He's running, he's healthy, he's happy, he's playing, and you hear him all the time, Gail. He is bossy. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that I think that people have to be clear about. Whenever we want, even if it's something for ourselves or whatever, we have to be willing to ask for help or to ask the energy to come in.
Yeah.
That's really important because they don't just do it automatically.
No, they're not going to go do it, and so you have to you really want to be in that good place, because you don't want to bring in anything dark either. So here is and we're talking about the large orbs, and people have never, I've had thousands of people from around the world say they have never seen orbs and energy just so huge, and how I can attract so many energies. So this one is interesting. Do you see this one?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it's huge.
There's several. There's several here. There's several.
There's one. Yeah, I see 3 of them.
Yeah. So I guess that's where we should go at, is, people from the Sirius constellation, blue rays, they can do some very amazing things with healing and energy. So that's where I am from, is Sirius, and I am a blue ray. So this is where my spirit, my soul, my life force, who I am out there in eternity, I am a blue ray. So I have learned how to bring these healing energies in. And man, blue rays are very, very powerful. They're usually introverts when they're very young, which I was. But once we get our voice, we're the teachers. So, and we're also the healers. We understand DNA healing. We get to those levels as well.
Healing is going to be very important, because we're going to have a lot of people that are really in need of healing, because as more and more truth comes out, people who have been sleeping are going to be waking up, and they're going to be shocked, and they're going to be having a difficult time dealing with everything that they're finding out.
Yes, and they activated most of us blue rays over a year ago. The ones that were kind of sluggish, they started saying, okay, you're activated whether you like it or not. And because it's time for us to put the boots on the ground, because we have to be there for all the ones that are suffering trauma with everything that's going on. And trying to teach these people, I deal with the chronically ill on a daily basis, as you know, how to cleanse themselves and stuff. Because, for example, me hearing the word COVID every day, they actually attached a satanic code to it, and they're living out this. These some darker entities here, and they attached darkness to it, so that because I hear it daily, I ground, I cleanse, I clear. I'm pretty sure you do too, Gail, because we have to. And these frequencies are attached to words, and that one they attached some very dark.
And every single thing that pops up on anytime I go to the YouTube channel, or even Facebook, there's something about COVID on there. And it's like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about COVID, which is a hoax anyway. But
Yeah, it is. And, on my website, I do have a COVID report, but it's an AKA frequency 5G and frequency report. And we're having issues with these people from so many ends. We know 5G, it's a frequency, it's a very, very lower vibrational frequency that can do a lot of damage to the cells. And then now we have Schumann, the Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia's frequency going up. And that's kind of what I am getting from my Blu-rays, is that they're trying to come in with this lower frequency. So as Mother Earth's frequency raises where it raises, for us to evolve and turn on DNA, and evolve into something better as a species here on Earth, they're trying to keep it low. They're coming out at us with all these low negative frequencies, and they're trying to counteract us waking up.
well, and they don't want us. They don't want us to ascend.
No, they don't want us to ascend, and it's going to happen. This has already happened. It's going to happen.
Yeah, they're doing everything within their power to try to keep the frequencies down. And what people need to realize too is that as they raise, they are actually become impermeable. I mean, they can't reach you because they can only go so high. So it's so important to keep your vibration up.
Oh, it's very important. I just put another photo of when I was doing the healing process over him, and look at the orbs overlaying one another and all the light coming in, all the beautiful light coming in to heal him. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing what you can do. I know everybody's not going to be able to do this. It's not their journey. And, the Palladians, they have their thing. The Syrians, they have their thing. We all have our thing. But here, us Syrians, we do have the healing component.
I don't know what's making that sound on my computer all the time here. I'm sorry about that.
That's quite okay. So we've got to know that, certain people in certain areas that come from different places in the solar system that are here. And there's some people that they're not going to be as advanced as us. Most of them aren't, and they're not going to understand this, but we just have to be there for them, the trauma that they will go through. In the next several months, we're going to have 5 retrogrades. We're already in 2 retrogrades. By I think about June 13th, we'll be in all 5. So you're going to, and this is having to happen for us to go into that next level, into ascend. We have to bring all this darkness out to wash it out. And right. With these 5 retrogrades at once, you have not seen anything yet.
I know, it's going to be so shocking.
It is. People are going to be so traumatized because we had years to learn what was going on in this planet. And some of us were born into knowing it. And then some of us developed our skills and realized who we were several years back. Me, it was about, I always knew something was different when I was a kid. Why am I in this family? Why was I put here? But now, actually I've developed things over the past 12 years. And I couldn't imagine what took me 12 years to learn, to have to learn within a few months.
Well, it's funny, as most of the light workers that I talk to, frequently they come in a family that is not awake or not, they're on a different page.
Actually, the majority of Blu-rays are like that. The majority.
black sheep.
majority of the ones from Sirius, yeah, we're not, they just slap us into, when I know you were like me, we've talked about it, like, how did I end up in this family?
Yeah, really.
Oh, these people are not using too much common sense. Do they see what I'm seeing? Why don't they see what I see?
Exactly. I have asked myself that so many times. Why am I seeing this? Why does it seem so obvious to me and other people don't see it, or they just don't get it? That just baffles me at times.
No, they do not. I have another picture up here where, you can see how large the energies get. They take up the entire room. I will make sure to also give you some links to videos I have that you can share when you put this out on your channel, where people can just see the energies flying into me. And a lot of them, when they'll be flying into me, they're the blue lights, they're the blue rays coming in.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Here are some more. Just look how big they are, Gail. Look at that.
I know, huge. They're absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's actually, I'll share in a minute. Sometimes something comes in that's not good, and I'll share that with you in a minute. I've got a little guy, Roscoe, who is he detects them faster than me. Look how bright this one was. That is just bright. That is an energy that came right before me. Could you imagine that? That's a golden light. Golden light just pouring in front of me.
It's amazing.
I know, totally amazing. Beautiful, beautiful golden light just right at me. That was, as I was taking the snapshots of the energies coming in, golden light just came right at me. It's just
golden, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Gail, you remember this one?
Yes, I do.
I was just compelled to just take this picture of the pinkish, purple, bluish sky. It was just so beautiful. I didn't see this at all. Somebody tried to tell me it was Starlink, so I actually, one of my sisters who used to work for NASA, and then actually my friend Cynthia, who used to be an electrical engineer on NASA space shuttles at Cape Canaveral, I showed them this, and they said, "No, that's not Starlink, honey. We don't know what you got." And they said, "Maybe, it's you, Starlink. Maybe it was, your family out there telling you, hey, we're here, we're watching over you. Keep on doing what you're doing, because we need you to keep on doing what you're doing here." This was very interesting, though. I was just so compelled to take photo of the sky. But if you'll notice, I have several pictures. If you'll notice, if you look beyond the light and stuff, you'll see there's a huge face in the background. A huge, huge face. It's like a Syrian face, a serious face, a Blu-ray.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting. And what's interesting, what I was told by them is that one of the reasons my name was Sterling, and my mother was compelled to name me Sterling, which is such an odd name for, anyone, but for a female.
Sterling.
Yeah, that I was told that they compelled my family to name me that because the planet in Sirius that I'm from is a very high-tech planet that, and all the buildings are made of sterling silver.
Oh, how interesting. Now, are you from Sirius Major or Sirius Minor?
I forget which one. I mean, I know where the buildings are made of silver, and it's very high tech. I'm not from the water planets. I know it's what I've been told is that the buildings are made of silver, sterling silver. That's why my family was compelled to name me that. They were basically, it was put in their head to name me Sterling by
That's
them.
interesting.
So apparently, you've told me, and a few other people told me, they said they could imagine me, out there. I was probably one of the people just, looking at all the DNA and looking at all the physics and math with what I do, because many people, don't realize that, even
Yes.
my work's even on MIT's website, so.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So I'm
So,
one of the major physics and math, and quantum physics actually amazes me. I'm learning so much. It's like I'm like this. My brain is this huge sponge that when here I'm talking about energy and stuff, but Gail, a lot of my stuff that you've seen, I go over everyone's head, So
yes,
yeah.
you have a very deep understanding.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So this
or-
is what here we are. This was my front yard right outside of New Orleans, and I had my front yard picket fencing around it, and I started. I was compelled to again take photos because I felt the energy and the light all around me, and look how the light is, because I'm going to show you some other pictures coming up where it's the regular background where the light's not there, and now here's the light, but all this light just engulfing my house. I've actually seen, I was actually on the phone with you one night. You remember when I saw the winged being just kind of fly past the fencing?
yes,
And it
yes, yes,
was a
yes. I
20-foot
remember that.
wingspan.
Yes, I remember that. That was
Yeah, and
wow.
it looked angelic. It looked like angel wings. And then I had at the other end of the fence a brownish red figure starting to form. And then a figure formed in my bedroom. This one was pretty interesting. As you see, the light, the lighting was. Oh, now this is a good one. Actually, this would be a good one if I can't. Is there any way we can maybe share a link to where the photo is? Because I'd like people to enlarge this on their screen. I'm going to see if I can enlarge it anymore.
Yeah, you might have to ask your son about that. I don't know how to, like,
Yeah.
if we want to put it in the description or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So when you go on this one, okay, and you enlarge it, all right, you're going to see the reason you see some red in there too is because of the red wall and stuff. But there are several faces up in there, all right, of entities. But if you look in the lower right-hand corner of the orb, there is a number 5 sitting right in the orb, telling you that there's like an alliance of 5 up in there, 5 different beings, like an alliance of 5 up in there. That's what I was getting, like a group of 5 different beings from different places maybe that are watching here. So the number 5 came up in it, top and bottom, right at the top and right at the bottom. You really have to blow it up and you can actually see the faces, the 5
yeah,
in
I
there of the.
facial outlines. Yeah,
Yeah,
and eyes. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that before in orbs. People's face. I don't know whose face it is, but I mean, I see a face. And I've
yeah.
seen them.
Yeah, those were 5 different entities. So that was pretty interesting. Um, Hold on, we're not done here. I think it just back to the yard and stuff. I have some more coming here. I don't know how that one got in the middle, but you see, this is how it was. Do you see how it's like? I'm taking pictures back to back. Do you see the energy is not here? anymore. And then it starts to try to come back a minute. And then I have the blue light come in. The blue light's coming in at me on here, if you see. The energies are just amazing around me. Here's another one I caught in my kitchen, another large energy that came to visit one night out of the blue. Sometimes they just come in. There is a little face up in that one. Here's how bright they get. I usually get 3 at a time. So there are 3 beings that kind of just come and watch over me quite a bit, or come to talk to me, or come to download. You know, I've actually woken up in the middle of the night where I'm in an upward position speaking languages, and then I just go back and lay down. And I'm not speaking anything of earth either. It's, you know, Syrian. I absolutely believe that's kind of what's going on there. And I'm downloading, or they're having to download something in this brain of mine. I don't know how much more they can fit in here, though, because you know I'm a walking encyclopedia.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's a gift. Or a number of gifts. There's another one where, where the blue, maybe that's the same one. It says night 7. Did you show that one already?
I don't know. Now here's one where my, this is my little guy, Roscoe. He's a detector. And this one, he was telling you he enjoyed the energy that was there. Roscoe, sometimes, it's only happened on 2 occasions where he's like gotten up and hunched up like a cat and snarling really bad, and where I had to do some cleansing and clearing. This is when all this was just coming at me, and I didn't, you know, I didn't understand that, hey, you know, hey, some darkness can come in too. You know, try to get in, especially when you're coming in on this planet and you're trying to foil their plans, because their plans will be foiled, you know. So Roscoe kind of tells me when it's okay, Mom, he'll be up there brave and, you know, barking happy, wagging his tail, talking to them, or he will just start snarling like it's not a good energy, Mom. He'll know before I know, which is
Do
very,
they bark at it?
huh?
Do they, when it's a bad energy, do they bark at it?
Sometimes when it's good, they'll bark at it. It's like they'll want to play with them. I've got videos of them on the bed playing with them. But they'll just, their hairs will stand up. I've actually had one occasion where, you know, I have several rescues. They're my forever babies. And at the time I had 5, and of the 5, 3 of them peed on themselves. It was an intense energy. I believe I still have that video too, if I have it. You know, I kind of don't like putting out the videos of the negative energies though. So,
Wow.
you know, I have some videos on here that we won't share, and it's of a, you know, because I've had to be around so many things where I've actually, you know, people have been possessed by some very dark stuff, and it, you know, they didn't even realize it, and then they come around me, and then the darkness will start coming out, and you'll hear it, and because they know I know.
People need to protect themselves with a tube of light, or
Yeah, they do. I'm always putting, you know, my bioenergetic field I also protect as well. And I do a lot of grounding because of these energies and you know, the things I see. Things come to me in full figure. I can talk to you after we share some of these photos about that. Here's one that came over my grandson's dog, Miley, at the tip of her nose. That one was pretty interesting. It was on the tip of her nose playing.
it's right by his nose, isn't it? A little one.
Yeah, a very small one. Those are unusual. Well, not really, because I'm always shooing them out my face, you know. It's so funny because sometimes only some of my friends can see them, and not everyone. And they'll see me just shoo something outside of my face, and I'm like, yeah, stop bothering me right now. And they're like, Sterling, are you okay? Yeah, it was just an orb was just like wanting to get my attention.
Well, now tell me something about, oh, I see the orb on the ceiling too. Wow. Now, didn't you have a near-death experience?
Several,
Several.
several,
See, and
multiple.
I noticed that the people that I've talked to that have had these experiences of near death, it changes them.
Yeah,
Ways that, like this, for example,
yeah.
what's happening with you with all these energies and orbs, and it's like it opens a door that's been closed to most of us, and unless you
Yeah,
had.
well, I actually, before my first near death, I was living on the Indiana-Ohio border in a small town called Liberty, Indiana. And I used to have to work in a small town called Oxford, Ohio. And I'd bring my children were very small. This was in the early 90s. I would bring them to a friend of mine's house down a country road on the Indiana-Ohio border. And instead of getting back on the highway, I would always go through these cornfields to get to Oxford, Ohio to get to work. And I noticed, like, for about 4 nights in a row that I would see, you ready for this? I think it was an egret, maybe, an egret and a deer at the side of the road every night. And it was for like, because I would leave like 3 in the morning to get to my work for 4 a.m. at a 4 a.m. shift. And it would still be night, and I would see this egret and this deer standing on the side of the road, like just waiting for me and looking at me. And this happened for about 3 nights in a row. So here's the 4th night. I had done dropped off the kids, and I'm going down the country road, and I'm waiting to see the egret and the deer. And instead of the egret and the deer standing there at the side of the road to greet me, this huge orb just comes through the cornfield, and I see it. So I stop my car, and then it's coming through the cornfield, and then it stops right in front of my car. Just
Oh my God.
Hey, we're here. We're watching you. We're protecting you. And then it went to the other side of the road, and you could tell it was not solid, but like it had mass. It was amazing. And then it just slowly dissipated. And that was my first experience. And I kind of drove. And when I got to work, I remember I was young. I was in my early 20s, and I was a stalker at a place in Oxford, Ohio, 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. shift. And when I got there, I was in the break room before we all got on for our 4 a.m. shift, and every one of them were like, Sterling, you look like you saw a ghost. And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want them to think I was crazy, and I was kind of shocked at what I saw. That was my first experience, even before near death. Now, after, when I was now a few years later, not even 2 years later, that was my first where I coded, where I had no blood pressure. I bottomed out. I had to have 2 amps of epi. I had to be resuscitated. And my boys were very small, and I was dying. I died in my mother's arms until the paramedics got there. And I can remember them saying, she has no pulse. I'm hearing them talk. I'm hearing them talk the whole time. And then all of a sudden,
I'm here.
yeah, I know. I'm here, guys. And I'm like looking over my body. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is neat. I'm in this like tunnel thing. And I'm hearing this swish, 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 swish. And it's all blackness, and I no longer have a body. I don't have arms or legs. And I can remember I was trying to kick back, like, no, I don't need to be going here right now because I've got 2 small children to raise. I said, I've got to go back. And I'm not talking with my voice. I'm talking with my energy, my being. And at the same time, I hear this being saying, you're going back, but we had to bring you here for some, I guess one of my first kind of download they were giving me. That's why they brought me there. it was done intentionally, that they had to bring me there to do what they needed to do to me, to bring me back, to prepare me for what I was going to be doing. So I always knew this, and I couldn't go to a psychiatrist. I couldn't talk to a friend because they would have me admitted. I couldn't talk to my parents about what I was being told and stuff. Then I had another one where I broke my neck, fractured my skull, blood on the brain, had a brain aneurysm, carotid dissection, turtle bleeding, and fighting for my life in the hospital for 2.5 months, cut from breastbone to pubic bone, hip to hip. And I remember that one time when the internal bleeding, and I had been resuscitated once, and the doctor looked at me and he said, I'm going to do my best to save your life. And I said, you don't have to worry. I'm not dying. I'm coming back. It's okay. I'm coming back. So he was rather shocked at that. And I was kind of telling him how I just came back from there and what I was seeing. And he said, it's just amazing me that you're even talking to me with your blood pressure 40/30. And I go turn around and I look at my vitals and I'm talking away to him with the blood pressure 40/30. Yeah. And that was pretty interesting. And then the breaking the neck, bleeding on the brain, fracturing the skull, that was another time. And what I had learned is
time to go.
basically I was being a little stubborn and lazy. I wanted to come here and just enjoy the free ride and, make lots of money and do whatever I did, screw off and stuff. And basically they had to send me down that journey to understand. I was very stubborn coming here, very, very stubborn, and wanted to have it kind of easy and didn't realize I was here for a job. I was here to heal people. So they messed me up enough so I had to figure out how to heal myself so I could heal others. That's basically what I learned. So if I wouldn't have been so stubborn, I wouldn't have had to go through all that.
Well, you have amazing knowledge as far as genetics is concerned, hence the name Heal Thy Genes, because there's been a lot of genetic damage to people over the years.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what genes are. They're going. What these darker entities here. They're in human form like us, but they come from darker places. And what I've learned over the years, I've met the reptilian, I've met the Nordic, I've met a few of them. I've had the Blu-rays come straight to me, the teachers, full form in my room. And there's so many here. And, some of them control people too. And so we're in like this, we chose to come here. This is kind of like an epic battle to see the darkness come into the light, see if we're going to keep it dark, see if we're going to be able to bring it into the light and resolve it. And that's what you're seeing right now. So many of us are here to remove this darkness because it's off balance. You have to have a balance of negative and positive. Negative and positive.
It's been way out of whack here lately. And
it's totally, well, that's why we're washing it up. That's what you're saying, is that we're washing it up.
It needs to come to the light, and that's what's happening. It's just that we don't want people to dwell on the negativity, just kind of try to stay neutral or, walk the middle road to a certain extent. Don't get overexcited or in order to keep your vibration up. Because if you concentrate heavily on the negative, you're going to lower your vibration, and that's not going to help you.
I see the negative every day, but here's the problem. In order for us to bring it out into the light, and this is what I get, I have a problem with the New Agers and the people that think they're woke. Okay, all right. In order for us to get it off the planet, we have to acknowledge it's here.
Exactly.
We most definitely. So, they put code in everything. They've got a dark code on COVID. this this Lucifer's, you know, where the Catholic, the Christians are like kind of spinning it the way they are, but we do have to acknowledge it because there's code on it, and it is not a good code. It's a code that's going to go in your RNA, and it's going to manipulate your DNA to prevent your ascension off this planet. And that's why I am here. And that's why you are here, Gail. And people don't realize that. So we have to let them know it's there. Now, don't go running and being scared of it, because I'm not scared of it, because I know who I am. I know I'm the eternal being, just like you know you are.
Yes.
You know, I know where I come from. Most people never in this life get to know where they come from. They're so erased and clean slated. But I know where I'm from.
People don't realize that we're all basically ETs.
Oh, yeah.
We did, even though, you know, it's hard to wrap their head around, because you're
Very
thinking,
hard.
I was born here on Earth, but that does not mean that that is where your soul originated from. Because
No,
as
you're an eternal being.
beings, we've been a lot of different places. It's
Yeah.
just, you know.
Yeah, I kind of want to get back to home after this. This has been a heavy experience and ride, but we came here to watch it and to guide it out of here, and that's what we're doing right now. We're guiding it out of here. We're rebalancing here. With this rebalance, though, you're going to see a lot of stuff. We're going to have a lot of death here. We're going to have people going crazy. The Schumann frequency going up. There's people that are not going to accept that energy, okay? And then you've got all the dark ones trying to bring the other frequencies in, so we can't raise our vibration with the other higher frequencies coming, you know. And one of the reasons that many are, not a lot, but many of us are awake, is because we're already on a higher vibration, and they're just perplexed at, they keep on throwing all this stuff and we're still more awake. And then when the more we wake up and the more we call them out and bring their darkness into the light, the more energy that we feed for other people to wake up and see the darkness for what it is, to bring it into the light, to resolve it. And that's what we're seeing right now. So it's just going to get more chaotic. But in that process, there are going to be some people, they're not going to make it. They're going to go insane. They're going to die. They're going to have disease. They're going to believe in, you know, these words so much that have this coding in it, that these lower frequencies, that it's going to damage their cells and their DNA, and it's going to kill them. But we can only help as many people as we can. So for the ones that are ready to wake up, the ones that are ready to listen, and the ones that we can guide and teach them how to protect themselves, you know, protect their bioenergetic field, protect their auras, you know, learn how to use their third eye, is a wonderful thing.
And we'll talk about this and more as we do more interviews with you and other energy workers.
Yeah, most definitely.
And help people as much as we can by giving them information and knowledge that they can use and work with. So
this was another one where Roscoe had a little issue going on. The tweenies that I took in, their mom and dad were father and daughter, and one was born with a heart defect. Other ones have some other things going on. And he had had a few seizures that day, and we helped heal him. He hasn't had a seizure since then. The lights came in. He's fine. He's a happy little guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always like to let you know that we're coming up on we're going past a half an hour now. I don't know how long you want to continue.
Yeah, I know. So I'm done with the pictures and everything. So I don't know where you want to go at that, but we can maybe talk about what we're going to do on upcoming shows, explain to people what we're going to do. if you want to.
Okay. I have a couple of interesting little cards and statements from a couple ascended masters. I don't know if you'd mind if I read them.
Oh,
I think
read them away. Read away.
this is from Master El Moria. I'm not sure I said his name correctly. I hope so. But anyway, this one's interesting. It says, nothing will change in your life unless you change it yourself. This is your job.
Mhm.
This is what you came here to do in this life, and no one else can do it for you. That kind of goes along with you have to save yourself.
Yeah, you do.
Here's another one. This is interesting, by the same man. Contemplate this. What we do comes and goes in the passage of time, but what we become as divine beings, embracing our divinity from the perspective of a human experience, remains with us for eternity.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's heavy. Yeah.
So I'm going to enjoy doing these shows with you, Gail. So we'll get a few people on. I'd like to get Wendy Myers on. Yes. We can, for the people that we want to keep this more positive, but we do need to get Judy Mikovits on and get her word out there. That's one.
Oh, definitely. I love that woman. She is so brave, and she stood up for humanity at a time when nobody was there to back her up.
Oh, yes. And we do need to get John Mikovits on here, too. He's an amazing one. He's standing up for humanity, too. He works hard on trying to stop things like real ID and, stuff like that.
There are some people coming forward that I'm just going, all right.
I know. It's so cool. It is so awesome because he was a senator and he lost out because he wrote the book exposing Mueller. That was hilarious. But we do need to get more of our energy people on. I'd like to get Wendy Myers on about Ness, and then maybe Harry Massey, because people here would love that. And I can screen share with you guys when we do another show on that too, and show you how it was showing my chakras. My heart, I was having problems with my heart chakra, and then I met Robert Marking, and he pulled 3 entities off my heart chakra. And then after, I was able to do the Nest scans again, and my heart chakra is working. All my chakras are working very well. So my next experience I'm getting ready to do, and I'll put a shout out to him too, High Vibration over on YouTube. He's going to help me with my Kundalini experience. So I can, since I've got all my chakras flowing and my third eye open. And then also I have another friend that I'd like to get on here too. So these will be upcoming episodes too we can work on. David Router, he's taught me how to use my third eye awake. My third eye is always open now. I can see, it's so funny. Sometimes I see rainbows over people. Sometimes when people have a darkness about them, I see black ropes coming out of the top of their head. That's pretty interesting. The third eye's open. So it's really interesting. We
can bring on people that can help other people.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, yeah. And then I've got a friend of mine, Alex, he's got another type of energy, computer, where we can look at bioenergetic fields. Because I've got some pretty smart kind of friends here. But we're going to get a lot of our light workers. I'd like to get Megan here too, because she works with a lot of crystals and stuff, and she can teach different people different things about crystals. But I have a lot of light workers, that follow me, a few thousand. So we can have plenty of shows.
Yes, sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah, we need to, maybe me and you need to do one in the near future on, showing people what the blue rays are, the different major and minor, different planets. Because that's where the mermaid comes from too, is from the water planet, the merman and mermaid.
Yes.
I'm serious. Interesting.
It's fascinating.
The tech one, but
I love all the different extraterrestrials from all over the place, and it's I've always, just even on Earth alone, the different cultures and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to me. It's always been
it is. It is
fun to see things from a different perspective. you know.
Yeah, and then when you wake up, even though you hear my story, and there's so much trauma, and I'm glowing. I'm glowing. Yeah, and I got grandchild number 4 on the way. I mean, I'm glowing. I'm happy. I mean, everything I've been through, you would think that I would just be caved in, wrinkles, and falling apart now, that I'm old enough to have 4 grandchildren. But to do energy work, and it heals us so much. I like to also get some of my Psi K people on, Bruce Lipton's people. I have a lot of friends in Australia, Michelle Crone and a few others that do Psi K through Bruce Lipton, and get them on here as well. That's really good practice. You can just feel like the bad energies that you've just packed on, and you can do your Psi-K, get your stuff going, and just work it out. Just work it out. And you wouldn't believe how you can just feel it just leaving you, the bad energy. You can just feel it leaving you with Psi-K. So we need to get we'll have some interesting people on the show.
We definitely will. I have some different people in mind too, and we'll discuss it and we'll cover it. And
maybe we'll get some Q&As from this one, and come back and do an answer from this show. So.
Yes, if anybody wants to ask any kind of questions, they should feel free to do so. Maybe we should include an email address for questions.
Yeah, that would probably be good too. So I don't know if I would be able to handle, the question list right now. Well, I could answer them, but I get thousands of emails daily, so I might lose lose some of them.
Just pick some, or they could come to me, and I'll just pick a few.
Yeah. If you have an email account, and then we can print them out maybe, and you could send them to me. Hey, here, Sterling, here's a list of them, because I do miss emails. I have, just a following of about 250,000 people that, I deal with. I teach doctors. I actually teach medical doctors. I actually teach continuing medical education credits sometimes. I write biochemistry books. I make genetic applications. I'm a genetic applications engineer. So, sometimes, and being a woke one, I get the woke doctors teach me. So I get a lot of emails, instant messages, and texts, because they're just amazed. Look, somebody who's got engineering, genetic application engineering skills, and she's woke. There's not many of those. I think Bruce Lipton's about one of the only other ones, huh?
No, yeah. You're pretty unique that way.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, it's been wonderful. I can't wait to keep doing this show, and we can bring on some of these people and show their work.
Here, and we'll be sharing them with everyone, and you'll be
and I've got other energy techniques I'd like to show people, some things that are very cheap to do that can help them as well.
Yeah, we can talk about nutritional things too.
Yeah, we can. Fill your DNA with good food too. Okay. Good thought. You got to have good thought too.
All right. Well, I guess we should wrap this show up, and we'll be bringing more forward. And I hope you enjoyed listening. And Sterling and Gail of Gaia will be signing off. We'll see you next time. Bye.